Rumi, the one who calls the human soul back to the source. 1. A call that doesn't come from outside. You are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop. Some lines, you don't understand the first time you hear them, but they stay, quietly, like a seed falling into the deepest layer of memory. In a noisy world where people keep trying to become someone, chasing identities, roles, achievements, there is a voice that moves in the opposite direction. It doesn't tell you what to do. It doesn't demand that you believe anything. It only whispers, "Come back." That voice is Rumi. 2. Rumi, a man of knowledge. Rumi was born in 1207 into a family of scholars, raised among scripture, doctrine, and rules. He learned quickly, understood deeply, and became widely respected. He was the image of a righteous man. But there is a truth most people, especially intelligent people, rarely admit. Knowledge can make you right, but it cannot make you free. And that is where Rumi's life begins to turn. 3. Sufism, the inner path. The path Rumi stepped into is called Sufism. Sufism is not a religion, not a rigid doctrine, not a system of beliefs. It is a journey from the mind to the heart. It doesn't ask what you believe. It asks, are you living from the deepest place within you? Sufism rises when human beings realize that rules alone cannot touch the sacred. And Rumi was ready for that touch. 4. Shams, the fire that burned the old man away. Then Rumi met Shams of Tabriz, and that meeting didn't feel like a meeting. It felt like a door being blown open. Shams did not arrive as a scholar. He carried no books. He brought no doctrine to persuade. He did not argue about right and wrong. He simply arrived, like a living flame. And by his presence alone, he made Rumi's mind incapable of continuing its performance. They say Shams looked at Rumi as if he could see through every layer of knowledge, then asked straight into the center, "Who are you, when you have nothing left to cling to?" That question shook everything in Rumi. Not because knowledge was wrong, but because it was no longer a throne. It fell into its rightful place, a tool, not an identity. From that moment, Rumi no longer lectured about God. He lived God through a heart that began to burn, burning away what was no longer necessary. And then, Shams disappeared. No explanation, no goodbye. Just one day, the flame was gone. For Rumi, it felt like his breath was torn from his chest. He searched. He called the name. But the more he searched, the less he found. And in that emptiness, Rumi understood. Shams was not the fire. Shams was the mirror, reflecting the fire that had already been inside him. When the mirror vanished, the fire had to burn on its own, from within. That pain did not destroy Rumi. It dissolved him. And love, having nowhere left to go, overflowed into poetry. 5. Divine love, the heart of Rumi. Rumi did not love God as an idea, not as a concept hanging above the mind, not as something you must believe. He loved like someone melting. He loved until the ego could no longer hold its shape, until the boundary between me and you blurred and vanished. Some people pray out of fear. Rumi prayed out of longing, longing for a place he once belonged to, and longing so deeply he could no longer pretend he was separate. I died as mineral and became a plant. I died as plant and became an animal. I died as animal and became human. This is not decorative poetry. It is the evolutionary memory of consciousness. Rumi is saying, life does not stand still. It keeps changing form, moving upward, not to become higher, but to become more real. And when you touch that truth, death is no longer a black hole. It becomes a door. Not because you believe it, but because somewhere deep inside you can feel what is alive in you cannot be annihilated. Divine love in Rumi is not meant to make you comfortable. It makes you vast. It reminds you that you are not only the story of this one life, not only a name, a role, a status, but a current of life that has moved through countless forms and is still moving. So when Rumi speaks of God, he is speaking of what is closest, your breath, your gaze, the life that is calling you back, not to a distant place, but to the source within. 6. Sema. When words are not enough. There are things the more you explain, the more you lose. So Rumi turned, he whirled, not to perform, not to be seen, but to disappear. One hand lifted toward the sky, one hand lowered to the earth, not holding, not rejecting, becoming a channel between heaven and ground, between silence and motion. And in that turning, the ego softens, so love can pass through. 7. Meet me in the field. Rumi did not found Sufism, but he made the path feel as intimate as breathing. He does not ask you to follow him. He asks you to remember. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right-doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. Maybe that field is the place where you stop judging yourself, stop trying so hard to become someone, and for the first time, dare to return to what is truly alive inside you. If this touched you, let it touch you. And if you want to go deeper with Rumi, the next videos will take us further into love, the ego, and the path of return. Follow the channel if you're ready to move slower and go deeper.